It's time to dive beneath the surface and into the minds and hearts of your favorite celebrities and pop culture icons. Welcome to Up and Adam.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. We are here to recap 90 Day Fiancé. And I know this is new. I have my leather jacket on, but Jason keeps it so freaking cold in this house. So welcome back, guys. I'm so happy to have you guys. If you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. Yeah, and let's just get started. I was like, where am I going with this? All right, guys. So 90 Day Fiancé was a doozy this episode. I do have to say, I think doozy means good, right? I thought it was a good episode. Maybe doozy means bad, actually, now that I think about it. But I thought it was a good episode. My favorite couple still is Brandon and Julia, just because I like watching them navigate this interesting dynamic with his family. I think that his parents are just absolutely way too controlling. And we'll get into that, of course. I also do want to talk about Rebecca and Zied. Zied has been in town for 1 day, and he's already on the phone pretty much crying to his mom, or his mom's like, Zied, you're breaking my heart, and already asking Rebecca, maybe I can go home in like 3 months for the summer or something like that. It's ridiculous. She's obviously already concerned, and Yara thinks that she might be pregnant. I don't even know where to begin. I'm also going to go ahead and drop the link whenever you guys want to start calling in. If people want to come in and I think you deserve the gold medal for the best title. Oh, thanks, guys. If people want to come in and start calling, then go ahead. I just dropped the link for you guys. But let's start with Brandon and Julia. So we see this episode where Brandon and Julia start off and his parents are going out of town, meaning they're finally going to get the house to themselves. But there are a few contradictions here. One, they don't want them hooking up at all inside of the house, but yet they're going to go away overnight and leave them home alone. Two, they're not allowed to sleep in the same room, but Brandon and Julia, if you guys watch this episode, they go skinny dipping inside of the hot tub. They get completely naked. And I guess that's the rule for the farm. The rule for the farm is that when you get in the hot tub, you have to be completely naked because the chemicals and stuff from the dryer sheets get into the bathtub water and then make it super foggy. What? But then they can't sleep in the same room? And then also, are you getting in the same hot tub that your parents were just in naked? Again, this is so strange to me. But for Brandon and Julia, this dynamic, it just gets worse and worse because Brandon's starting to pay more attention to Julia than he's actually paying to the farm. Now, for his mom and dad, they are not having this anymore because it seemed like before Julia ever showed up, Brandon knew exactly what his responsibilities were, and he took care of them. He addressed his responsibilities by taking care of the farm, waking up in the morning, making sure that he did the morning feed, and so on and so forth, right? They are totally nuts. I agree with you. I'm hooked. Brandon and Julia, Yara and Jovi, Zied and Rebecca, and also the other couple. I can't wait for the weddings. Oh, gosh. And those parents are creepy. Yeah, this is interesting, guys. Like I said, I just, again, don't know what they exactly want from Brandon, but Brandon's sitting there acting like he's getting pulled this way and this way. He can't really kind of figure out how to make everybody happy at the same time. And just to be fair, Brandon, for all of us looking in as viewers, big super fans of TLC and 90 Day because it's such a ridiculous show, you're not going to win this. Either your parents are going to be happy or Julia is going to be happy. But obviously, watching the dynamic here, you're not going to make both of them happy. In order for him to keep Julia around, because she obviously wants to go home at this point, he's going to have to move out of his parents' house. But then when you see him in this episode and he looks at Julia and he's like, you know, I do give you a lot of extra attention and I do bring you tea in the morning. So that's why I have to give it for the princess. She's like, hey, don't blame this on me. And I thought what was more ridiculous before we move on to the next couple, guys, hit that like button. But what was the most ridiculous was the dad revoking tea time in the morning. The dad saying, you can't go bring, Julia tea in the morning anymore. Done. You're not doing that. That's not happening. But Julia made a great point. So you can't come see me in the morning, right? Then you go to work in the day. Then you come home at night and you can't see me. When can you see me? And honestly, at this point, Brandon, I'm with Julia. I think that she was a little left in the dark when she was told what exactly she was coming into, especially the fact that we didn't talk about what the living quarters were going to be with her. You didn't tell her that she was coming into this kind of broke situation. And I know I do have one of my favorite callers, AblaVi, who I'm going to bring up in a minute. And she's going to say, listen, you know what it is. You came from Russia, and this is exactly what you got. I'll let AblaVi go into it. But let's keep it moving, guys. I want to move on to Rebecca and Zied. So Zied finally arrives. Okay, he gets into America, and Rebecca's smitten. She looks like a kid in a candy store, or like a 12-year-old girl who just got her first crush. And finally, she's getting rid of her daughter and her daughter's fiance so she can spend some alone time with Zied. When she walks Zied into the house, he's like, oh, this is great. But it's a mattress on the floor. There's no living room furniture. Really, the only piece of furniture in this whole place is the shopping cart. And we're a little confused as to why that's even there until the end when we see her pick up his boxes with them. But he just seems like, okay, this is great, but really, is it? Maybe he's not so happy with the situation. And it sort of shows. Rebecca has to spend his first real day, not the day that he got off the plane, but his first real day waking up in America at work, because they're a one-income household. At this point, somebody has to pay for Zied and pay for his eating habits and bills and everything else that comes with him being here. And if he can't pay for him, okay, that leaves Rebecca. So Rebecca goes to work, leaving him all day, and he gets up, gets ready, makes some interesting version of his own coffee, and then gets on the phone with his mom. You can tell that his mom is completely, I don't want to say she's homesick, but you can tell he's homesick, and they're trying to navigate how to deal with this relationship in this situation. It seems like it causes for an anxious situation for them, right? But Rebecca has a few things she needs to come clean about. She moved Zied into the same house that she lived in with her ex. Well, not the same house, the same apartment building, whatever, but moved him in the same place. Now, I don't know why this is a storyline or if they're just reaching, but why couldn't you just go move into a different apartment complex? And that way it wouldn't be so anxiety induced in order to get into this apartment. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm sure there were a couple other options here. Maybe even something in her daughter's building. I don't know. But the point is, I don't know how this is technically going to play out, because it seems like she just adopted a big Tunisian baby. Like, she just moved in this big Tunisian baby, give him some video games, beat him. He's probably not going to work, and let's call it a day. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button. Where's her furniture from the other place she lived? She said that it was technically in storage, but she doesn't have a truck to go get it, and it won't fit in her car. So they're going to have to work with each other on this. Brandon needs to grow up, or Julia is leaving. I agree with you, Diana Wirtz. Lynn Alex, how is working on a farm not work? I didn't think they're allowed to work. Well, it seems like she has to work for her place to live at this point. If Julia wants to stay with them, she needs to start helping out around the farm. Hi, AblaVi.
Bling Empire. I did not get to watch this yet.
Hi.
AblaVi?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay.
All right.
Hi. Sorry, I was
Hi,
watching.
how are you?
Good. I just called in because I finally watched House of Ho, and
Oh my gosh.
I'm not going to talk about it, but I just wanted to say I watched House of Ho and the Bling Empire.
The Bling Empire. I have to watch that. That's on my list.
And this is what I said. You know how I always complain about they not having enough rich people?
Right? Not on these shows.
Be careful what you wish for. But anyways.
So would you, before we get back into 90 Day, would you recommend that everybody watching go watch the Bling Empire and House of Ho? Because Jason loved House of Ho.
See, this is the thing it needs a little bit more drama, you know?
Okay.
I would say the Bling Ring is like the Shaws of Sunset, but the drama is very juvenile.
Okay.
Like, it's very juvenile, and it's a little bit too much like The Crown. Is too produced.
All right. Okay. All right. Well, then let's jump right back into 90 Day. Did you watch last night's episode or no?
Yes.
Okay. I was just talking about Brandon and Julia and then Rebecca and Zied. Do you have any opinions on either one of these couples before I move on to the next couples?
I'm a little confused about Natalie and her acting. I'm not exactly sure what she's getting out of this. She is like annoying to watch. and then with her and Mike. And I'm glad Mike finally checked her because she's really she really tried to act like he was abusing her.
Okay.
She was absolutely ridiculous.
So you're saying that you're talking about in this moment when Mike came home from work, he had a hard day at work, and he wanted to have a beer. She said, "You can't drink. You're not eating meat. You need to eat vegetables." He said, "I'm going to do a stir fry." She said, "No more fried food." And he's like, "You're not understanding. Just like root beer is not actual alcohol, it's not beer. A stir fry is not actually fried." And then after that, she starts to let him know how low on the totem pole he is as far as class. Yeah, this was a lot of digging.
But this is a problem. This is why I don't like people. It's like people who date fat women just so that they can have a project, or people date people thinking they're going to get better. Like, no, that's who he is. And if you wanted somebody financially secure, you needed to go on the Anastasia.com and find somebody that was financially secure.
Okay.
How you wanted to live. And she's very disrespectful. I think she annoyed me more than Yara.
To be honest with you, though, I don't think I could ever deal with Mike. I feel like Mike is super just complacent. He sits there. He's just like very dry. And again, she met him in the Ukraine, so she knew exactly what she was getting herself into. But I feel like this goes both ways. I think this is obviously just a really bad matchup.
No, I agree. It's both ways. I think he's a bit, but then too, I feel like there's more to the story. Like, I feel like it's being cut weird. Like, there's more dialogue in it.
Right.
He's not just like so crazy, you know?
No, but you are right, though. And somebody else just pointed this out. Lynn Alex, she said when Natalie said he's drunk, so she's scared, that was just ridiculous. He had one beer. He wasn't drunk. And obviously, that's a big man. A big man like that does not get drunk off of one beer, you know, and she's just trying to be theatrical. But again, I just think that this is a really bad match.
I don't understand how she's allegedly pregnant right now. Like, I really don't understand it because she really seems to not like him. And then
I want to say real quick, though, speaking of pregnant, guys, if you haven't already hit like, go hit that like button, 110 in the room. I want to talk to you about Yara because we obviously had Max, the celeb talk guy, on here, and he was talking about how Yara had these photos and there was one in front of a Christmas tree with like a little baby ornament and that they had a registry. So we all think that she just had a baby. Now, could this episode have been the indicator showing that she felt nauseous and she's been feeling sick, that maybe we're going to find out throughout the rest of the season that she actually was in fact pregnant starting now?
Yeah, I actually have to apologize because somebody said in the comment section she was pregnant, and I was like, no way. But yeah, they said that she had a child in September, allegedly.
I think that's what Max said too.
So that would mean she was pregnant. So she must have come December because they got married in February.
Right.
And she must have got pregnant. I mean, they're trying to make it seem like the dates are wrong and like, is that his child? Is it not? You know?
No, that means she would have gotten pregnant in January, which actually makes sense.
Yeah, but she said he was here 2 weeks because remember he's been on the boat 2 weeks. So it's like, did it happen? Did it not? You know, I don't have time for that storyline. I just think she's annoying to look at. And I really mean that in the best way. Like,
that doesn't sound like you mean that in the best way.
Like, she's just so, like, get a life. Like, if I love being at home alone, granted, the quarantine has really tested my patience, but go out, meet people, you know, go get a hobby, go to a painting class, do something,
I mean, I do have to say, she seemed like she was trying to keep herself busy at first by going to these different little shops and taking walks on the street and stuff. But when she sat down with Jovi's mom and aunt, she was so questionable in that moment when she was just like, I want to run to Vegas and I was engaged right before this, and kind of giving all of these like tidbit answers that obviously didn't please the mom and the aunt. I don't know if you caught the rolling of the eyes back and forth and looking over, but they're just like, who is this girl? And you are no good for my son. And then Chris just said here, the baby registry was posted on Amazon, and once it was leaked, she deleted it.
I mean, listen, I think too with her it's a little bit of acting as well. I do think she's a gold digger because I saw something with her in the Ukraine a few like 7-8 years ago where she said she was going to marry a rich man, yada yada yada. But right. I just think the biggest issue I have with her is she pretends like, you know, she lived this grand life in Kyiv. Right. And now she's in Louisiana because I'm gonna be honest with you. This is like the first time somebody's gone to like a city. Most of the time people go in like the wilderness.
Like Woodstock, Georgia?
Yeah. Like, I mean, when we are on the show, I don't think I've seen many people go to a city.
No, I agree with you. I mean, aside from Tariq and Hazel, they're in Virginia Beach. That's not too small.
Yeah, not too small, but I mean, it's like for instance, I haven't seen anybody come to New York. Well, no, there was Lauren, but she went to Florida. So right. Yeah, I just think that she's annoying and she's doing this for attention. I don't want her to be on anymore. Like,
well, the thing is too, though, you know, especially with Discovery Plus and doing all of these like 90-day fiance stories with individual couples, we're going to see more Yara and Jovi. And the rumor is that she had her baby and took her baby and went back to the Ukraine. Really? I just can't wait to see. Well, that's what Max said. So I can't wait to see what happens and how this plays out, because maybe she did have a baby and she took off with it.
Do you think he married her because she was pregnant?
I mean, I feel like that would definitely play into why someone would get married. As crazy as that sounds, and a lot of people say, don't just marry somebody because they're pregnant. I feel like that would definitely play into it.
I just find it interesting that they got married, seeming that she doesn't like Louisiana for whatever reason. But but see, the thing with the kid thing is maybe she just went because her family couldn't see the kid, you know, because right. Nobody could be in the hospital.
Well, that's true. That's true. And also Sarah Arrington said the person she went out with to get the nails done, which was Jovi's friend, told her what a dirty dog Jovi was, sleeping with strippers and partying. I don't blame her apprehension.
I don't either. But I mean, the problem with that is they're being very shady about how they met.
Right. Well, technically not really, because they said that they met on a dating app or on social media, and then they ended up meeting while he was overseas, and that's how they came in contact, and they had this little whirlwind of spending a few days together, and then she got pregnant.
Exactly. But she was already engaged to somebody else. See, and then the engagement story was wrong. Because it's like, were you engaged when you met Jovi, or did you call off your engagement?
Because of Jovi.
I'm just going to take it as a translation thing.
I think she called off her engagement because of Jovi.
Yeah.
Which also is going to be a red flag for the mom, thinking, oh, okay, so then when something comes along better, are you going to leave my son? Mm-hmm. I mean, that's how I would feel. And real quick, I want to move on to the next couple, though, with you, too. Guys, if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that like button. But this couple just drives me absolutely insane. It's Amira and Andrew. I think Andrew is absolutely ridiculous, and I feel like he's just I just feel like he's like I hate to be like biased, but I feel like he's just a slob. Like this guy, he had the opportunity to go from Puerto Vallarta, where he was staying in this resort, to go try to do something about getting Amira out, which obviously he wasn't going to be able to get Amira out. She's detained in Mexico City, but producers gave him the opportunity to fly him over to Mexico City so he could film being over there and trying to figure out what to do. And he opted out of it. He said, no, I'm not going there. I'm going to stay here and stay put. And in this episode, he gets a WhatsApp message where he finds out that she's headed back on the plane. And it was just traumatizing. She doesn't really want to talk about it. But it seems like her dad was a lot more concerned about getting her back and getting her out of detainment than he was.
I think this was a fake scene.
Really?
Yeah. Because I've never heard of somebody getting detained for that. I didn't even understand why she did it. You know?
I think they were saying that she got detained because she was coming from France, and that was one of the red flag countries for Mexico.
But she only stayed in detainment 3 days, which was remarkable.
Right, and then they sent her on a plane back to Amsterdam. But she did say in those 3 days that she did not shower. She barely had anything to eat. It was cold. Obviously, this detention center had to have been terrible. But my only thing, too, is this guy is so selfish because after she's already been through all of this trauma, and I'm sure that would be traumatizing, especially if you've never gone through something like that, he's immediately trying to figure out a different country that he can fly her into.
I don't really understand. I'm not sure about this. Does anybody in the comments know? Okay, detainment papers are online. When you do the 90-day and there's a pandemic, does it extend or does it not work like that?
I don't think it extends because they kept on saying for their storyline, Amira and Andrew, Amira only has 40 days left for her 90 days. And kept on showing us the timeline of how it just got less and less and less. So obviously, I think it's 90 days from the time that they issue you the 90 days.
But for instance, Jenny, she's in India and she's been able to stay there because of the coronavirus.
Yeah, but she keeps extending her visa and they keep approving it.
Interesting. I mean, but this is the thing I don't get. She's French. So when this is over, if they really wanted to get married, she could get married to him and they could do the one that, who does? The one that Michael did.
Which one is that?
It's the one where you're already married and you're bringing your spouse over.
Oh, I'm not sure. I just know what the K1 is called, but I'm sure somebody in the comments will know.
But yeah, wait. Okay, so it doesn't extend. It's just weird to me because she's from France and you can travel freely, or why doesn't he move to France? I'm not understanding.
Spousal visa, Chris said.
Spousal visa. I'm not understanding why he doesn't go to France. What he does, he can do anywhere around the world.
I thought that didn't they say that he was a daycare person?
Yeah, you could do that everywhere.
Yeah. Her dad is going to think that he is the biggest joke, especially him even jumping on and he was like, "Hi, sir, how are you?" And he's like, "Have you heard anything? Is there anything, how we can get more information?" And he's like, "Sir, I like your shirt, sir." It's like, he doesn't care about that.
But the thing that was odd to me is this is why I think this is a production thing. Why did he go to Puerto Vallarta if she's flying in Mexico City? That was just odd to me.
How far is Puerto Vallarta from Mexico City? We have to maps it because that's how we'll know. Because that's where the resort was. Maybe that was the easiest flight for her.
No. Well, Mexico City would be international. Puerto Vallarta is more of a tourist town. But if she's coming from Mexico, wouldn't you want to be at the airport when she comes? Just in case something happens in Mexico City?
Well, you would think that, but oh no, I don't. It's not showing me on here.
It's about an hour.
It's about an hour? Yeah. So then, oh no, it's 10 hours.
Oh, but for a flight.
For a flight.
Yeah,
so maybe she was going to fly into Mexico City and then take a smaller plane from Mexico City to Puerto Vallarta, and that's where she got detained.
But he could have flown straight to Mexico City.
Well, production tried to get him to fly to Mexico City, and he opted out.
No. I'm saying from America. He should have flown to Mexico City.
Right.
Because he was going to go to... this is why I think it's fake. Why are you going to Puerto Vallarta when he could have gone to Mexico City? Because he lives on the east. No, he lives in California, right?
Yeah, Roseville, California.
So that's why. But Mexico City, that's so disrespectful what he did. I had no respect for him.
No, I honestly, I don't like this guy, and I don't see this working. Especially, she just seems like she's such a hopeless romantic, and she is looking for the love of her life. But I think at this point, it looks like she's just settling because this guy, it seems like he doesn't have her best interest. He's kind of not all the way put together. He doesn't have the best job, and I'm not saying not being a daycare person is a good job at all. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying for this guy, the way that he carries himself and stays with his parents and works out of his mom's house, there's just something that's a little strange about this guy.
He's just so disrespectful and rude. And I don't. I if she doesn't break up with him, this is a fake storyline.
Okay. Well, I do want to. I want to move on to another storyline because I'm curious what you think about this. I find this to be an extremely fake storyline, and I like how we can pick these apart because unlike one of the previous seasons where Devin and Jihoon, well, technically Devin, exposed the fake storylines, at this point we're just guessing what's going on, and nobody's really ruined it for us except for Yara's baby registry. But Tariq and Hazel, let's just bring it up here, guys. If you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button. But Tariq is like, man, I wish I would have had the opportunity to tell Hazel about Minty. Well, yeah, you've had a few days to tell Hazel about Minty. You had your friends over. You introduced her to your daughter. You took her out to the beach. You've had ample time to talk about Minty. Why now is she just saying, I went through your phone and I found out that you're still talking to Minty? It's like, this is what I would call a fake storyline.
You know what? At this point, I forget about Tariq and Hazel because they're so irrelevant.
Well, I mean, I think the biggest part of bringing them back this season was probably the open dialogue of inviting, entertaining the idea of a polyamorous relationship. Because again, just like when we had our first lesbian couple and, it's like a first, this is our first polyamorous couple. So it adds a new dynamic and not just giving us the same stuff over and over again on TLC, or at least I feel like that's what they thought this was.
But you don't see a polyamorous couple. All you're seeing is a fantasy because there's no talk about relationship. The only talk when it comes to polyamorous is about sleeping with somebody else. And I'm not understanding. I'm just getting tired of them too.
Yeah. Well, and it's interesting too, because we're going to have to watch it play out and see if they end up staying together or not. If you guys know something that I don't, I haven't really done too much looking into them because like AblaVi said, they're almost a little bit irrelevant for 490 Day, at least this season. I feel like there are a lot more interesting couples than Tariq and Hazel. But if you guys know if they're still together, go ahead and share it with us. But otherwise, I guess I'm excited to see Tariq bring Hazel through the shopping process of getting a new woman, inviting a new woman into their relationship.
Yeah.
GSP said he's a weirdo. They are boring. Skip them. Vanessa said, wow. Tarzell is a boring storyline. Did you guys also see, by the way, AblaVi, did you catch that ridiculous charm on his chain that said Tarzell?
Oh my God. He's just, it's like he goes to shop at tacky and ridiculous. Everywhere.
I kept on looking at it last night and I was like, does that, that says Tarzell. I was like, is that Tariq Hazel? Oh, what are we doing?
Listen, I'm so happy he stopped the rapping. Small miracles.
Well, small miracles. Okay, let's see what other couples that we have here to talk about. Again, I want to bring back one of my favorite couples before we move on. Brandon and Julia. I'm just curious where you're at with this couple.
You know what? The mother has to be on something. I mean, the level of
It's interesting. Are you there? Did you get muted? AblaVi? All right, we're going to drop AblaVi down and see. AblaVi, if you fix it, come back. Let's see. But I'll bring up another caller. Hi, not paid by Monique.
Hi. Oh, my God. Oh. Congratulations, first of all. 30,000 and more. And
for 30,000 subscribers? How awesome. Guys, this is my first time actually being on with everybody since we got the 30,000 subscribers.
Yes.
Thank you so much for saying that. I'm so thankful for everyone here and everybody supporting our troops. And you guys make Pops feel like he has the biggest family in the world. So just thank you guys so much. This is, it's a dream. I feel like I'm dreaming.
It's like I said, listen, every blogger that I follow, they have something special about them. But you stand out that you're not in a hurry to say something before anybody else. You like to dissect, just like your intro. You're true to your intro. That's it.
Hey.
What happened? Yes.
Thank you. Wow, you're making me feel really good. I appreciate that.
No, because honestly, what I hate is that when they get a reaction from viewers, and then the breaking news come about to be not true. And that's like disappointing. Like you feel like you're invested, and they're like, "What? That's not true." Uh, Anyways, so
Yeah.
congratulations on that.
Thank
And
you.
what I would like to say is that everything about 90 Day Fiancé recently has become so fake. What I miss about the show that got me hooked is that when actually we had couples that at least they had the base of like making it work. But when they have those like the different, not only difference in culture but also in age, and it's bad, and it shows like they're there just to promote their business, and it's not gonna work.
No,
Like
I mean, I agree with you. It seems like even when we saw Brittany and Yazin, it's always just a new storyline in order to promote a business. I feel like
oh
that's
yeah,
definitely true.
it's like Brittany and Yazan, all of them. If you go and look, all of them they had a separate business to promote, kind of, or at least to get to be sponsors, because all of them when they promote like a product they're using, they're getting paid.
Well, and they
And
become brand ambassadors. Yeah.
exactly, they become brand ambassadors. So it's been so obvious, especially for the first lesbian couple that you just mentioned. It was
Stephanie and
obvious
Erica.
she is not like
Well, my question is though, this couple, what would you feel like Julia and Brandon would have to gain in any sort of brand ambassador situation, or do you feel like that's exactly
no,
what Julia is looking
these
for?
two, I feel bad for them. This is where I wanted to start talking about them. These two, I feel like they're not fake. They have everything to work. They have their regular in-laws problem. Like
Right.
his mom is she is weird. She's borderline creepy. She's not only like she doesn't only interfere. She's kind of like she wants to decide when they're allowed to have. I don't know if can say this here, intercourse or not. Like she's that controlling.
It's strange. It's a little strange. We can say
Yeah.
that.
So these two, as much as out of this world his mom is, but it looks like at least both of them there is substance. That she really likes him. I feel like she's genuine. She really likes him, and she was out there when they met, so she didn't lie to him of what she used to do before or what she's looking for in a relationship. Definitely, she never told him, "I want to work in a farm and feed your pigs." You know?
No, I agree with you on that. And guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button. I totally agree with you on that. But you did mention about somebody trying to put their business out there and how some of these people do actually do that. And I think a good couple that would reflect that, or at least one woman who claims that TLC and filming ruined her life and her mental health.
Yes, I was
Stephanie.
going to say that.
Yep, Stephanie and Ryan.
It's so obvious she's in this just to promote her business.
Yep. Well, and I mean, listen, hey, I'm all for a good business person. If you have a business to promote and you're about to put yourself on national television and make yourself look like a fool in some sort of capacity, hey, at least promote your product.
I agree. I totally agree. This is the thing. I like her business aspect, but like the vehicle that she used is so wrong. Like it's obvious she's using the show to promote her business, because let's face it, she is she's double his age. Come on. If you're that smart in business, you can't be that dumb in love.
Right.
You know, it's I feel like it's fake, and the way that she's saying like she made pretty hefty accusations against production, and her accusations, I don't want to even bring them up. I don't want to give air, but like if that's the truth, I would have my lawyers stop even them of using my footage.
Yeah,
she has that of a base, like they really, and TLC, if they're founded, they don't want anything to do with it. They would just like edit them out.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah, I feel like she's really she's thirsty. She's thirsty.
Okay. And
yeah.
Before we go on, and I'm going to bring back AblaVi with us in a second. Is there any couple that you are rooting for this season?
You know, it's like the disappointment has been happening incrementally with 90 Day Fiancé. I feel like most of them are really in it just for the show, like that Ukrainian girl. And even the way they film them, they make them refilm the same scene, and it shows that they're not wearing the same outfit. Like
Yeah, the same. Like
someone
you're talking
pointed
about
out that,
Mike and Natalie. Yeah,
remember Natalie in the gas station? She was wearing in one scene, the same scene. She was
sneakers
wearing
and
boots.
boots. Yep.
And yeah, so
I
come
think
on.
that was frauded by TLC. I think they're the ones who filmed it.
Oh yeah, I feel like TLC. It's like the Housewives, but at first they had something going. Like, because listen, I came to this country in a 90-day fiancé visa. I did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that really happens. But like, I really was in love with my ex-husband when I married him, and I stayed married with him 13 years. But everything was real, so they can have real couples that they use that visa. Because if I was going to come here in immigrant visa, the process would have taken at least 2 years, because every time you have to renew everything, you have to take vaccines. It's really tough, like especially if you're coming from certain areas of the world. Like, I had a prerequisite of my visa was to take 3 vaccines, like the measles, mumps, and rubella. Although I had taken them when I was young in Brazil because I was born there. But coming from Lebanon, they needed new proof. So there are, I feel like, new couples that they just need to do better casting, and they have to stop being in the business of creating storylines, which, we are smarter than that. And now we have, bloggers like you.
As viewers, we can't, now we just feel like we know when we're being bamboozled. Somebody who points that out all the time too. Welcome back, AblaVi.
Hi, sorry.
Yeah. So like Brittany and Yazan, like, Jordan is like neighboring country to Lebanon. Like, there is no way on earth that would work out. Although both of them look as cute as a button as a couple. But listen, over there in Lebanon and all Arab countries, nobody moves out of their parents' home until they get married. That is like, and if you're the youngest, you are like, it's almost like an unspoken rule. You live with your parents. Right. And I'm telling you that because this is how I have only one brother. He's the one living in my parents' home. He didn't have to move out because this is how things go. So the way that she's a rapper and she barely wears clothes. That never would fly with his family unless his family is in this and they're making some money. You know what I mean? Because that could be it. I don't paint Yazan as the victim, neither her. I feel like both of them are in cahoots. Like, how can you promise someone that you're going to get married with them without doing the research of how they live? And she's still legally married here. Like, everything is disingenuous. And I'm kind of like, I'm starting to phase out of them until the only real couple was the dude from Florida that I had great hair. What's his name? And the Mexican guy.
Oh, Kenny and Armando.
Yeah. Honestly, these are the only 2 that I feel like they're amazing and they're real. Okay. And I'm rooting for them.
Okay. And AblaVi, is there a couple that you're rooting for?
Well, for me, honestly, no.
No, that's fair.
I'm almost like AblaVi.
I just am tired of, I don't know what it is, but reality shows recently have been getting me really upset because I think because of COVID, they can't rely on, the dinner parties, the going out, meeting other people. But especially with 90 days, I think some storylines are just too ridiculous. Stephanie, Tariq. The only one I really do like is Julia, because I'm hoping she can get off that farm.
Yeah, no, somebody who, I think it was the other day, who said, he's like, everybody, let's come together and make a account to get Julia off that farm. He's like, no, I'm just kidding. But I'm like, oh.
Why do you think, because I'm starting to see they're starting to pick people with businesses. And this is not the type of show that's going to get you real money. Like,
maybe they want to sell eggs from the chicken. You never know. Maybe they're going to come up with an organic brand, or I just gave them the idea.
No, but what I'm thinking, what I don't understand is why wouldn't they be able to take that money that they've gotten from the show and taken it and rented out some sort of house or apartment.
Yeah.
Well,
Because the show keeps to keep going, they need to do this thing.
Yeah.
What is
Unless
it
he was in
about-
so much debt from like flying all over the place with her before and meeting her in France and meeting her I mean, he did travel quite a bit and then paying for her K1 visa process. He might actually be in debt, and the show might have just gotten him out of debt, leaving him with really no money in his savings to get out of the house. That could be
See?
true too.
You make sense, and for them to be in this situation, it doesn't make sense, you know.
Right.
So that's why I don't believe it. I feel bad for Julia, and I hope she gets out of that damn farm.
I
She's
hope
gonna end up slapping his mom.
she
Yeah.
does.
No, I said she's going. No.
Oh.
No, but I'm saying like it's getting to the point like she's being so respectful where she's like Brandon, this is not my mom. I can't talk. These aren't my parents. These are your parents. You talk to them. And it seems like she's trying to do the right thing. But even watching her yesterday or in last night's episode get up and walk away from the setting where they're telling him that he can't bring her tea anymore. I thought that was the best solution. Like she's going to get up and walk away instead of engaging because they know this can easily become a fight with anybody.
She is the mature person in that whole relationship.
Yeah.
But this is the thing. If Brandon wanted to leave, he would find a way to leave. And what are the parents going to do? That man has 4 other children. He can, I'm sorry. He can figure out a way to get somebody to work on that farm. And Brandon needs to man up. He needs to live someplace away from his parents and be able to make money. He cannot live with them.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. AblaVi, you're spot on.
You know,
Okay.
who wants that? Who wants to live like you're a teenager again, where you gotta tell your parents where you're going, when you're going out? And the mother was ridiculous. I'm not waking up at 6 o'clock to feed the animals. Are you crazy?
Nah. Yeah. And she wasn't under the impression about any of this before she got there. She did not know about the farm. She didn't know about the separate living quarters. She didn't know that he was broke. I mean, I get do your due diligence and Google where you're moving to, right? But I think that she had more hope that they were going to, yeah, because I feel like she had more hope like, okay, well, I trust this guy. He's going to get us an apartment and he's going to have it more together. And he didn't want her to not come. So he just let her believe that until she showed up. So yeah, he duped her.
But Brandon's 27, right?
Right.
Chances are he's been working since he was 18.
Chronological
What are
age.
you doing with his money? Because he's an exterminator. They make decent pay. What are you doing with your money? Because his mother looks like she pays for some of the trips when she goes. I don't believe for a second he pays all his money. I believe those parents pay for most of that stuff and they say, oh, but you got to stay on the farm.
Yeah. Yeah. To keep the thing, especially like they used to meet in France, in Europe.
Yeah.
The girl had no idea this is the situation that was waiting for her here. She had no clue.
Well,
They
Lynn
just
Halleck said
didn't
the
care.
parents are basically making Brandon and Julia prove they can run the farm before they get married. Julia doesn't want to run the farm.
She doesn't want to.
Nobody wants the farm. Even when he was asking Brandon about the farm, Brandon just didn't want to break his dad's heart. But you can tell nobody. What is the point? What does this farm make money? I don't understand what the point. I was asking my friend who was watching this with me last night. I was like, why do they have a farm? Is it just so they can live healthy and organically and have healthy organic chicken eggs and healthy organic crops? Like, is that what it is? Or does this farm actually make
Probably
money?
a family farm. So it's been passed generation to generation to generation.
Do they sell baby animals? Do they, where does the
I
income come
think
in from the
something
farm?
is coming down the line. Mark my words. We'll see some products coming out of that farm.
Well, I
Organic
don't know what
something.
type of farm it is because they haven't specified. Because I don't see enough animals for that to be producing.
Big income.
Well, maybe they're testing the waters. I don't know what's the cycle.
Annie J said, yes, they sell dogs.
Okay, so that's good
They
money.
sell dogs? What?
Okay.
Yeah,
Is that allowed? Are they?
Yeah,
breeders?
you can sell puppies.
yeah, you can sell.
Oh, that's not nice.
It,
Yeah,
So
it's
many
like-
to
like a little-
adopt.
It's like just you get like 2 dogs and you constantly usually they have like 2 or 3 dogs and 2 of the females are always 2's pregnant, the
So
other
they're
one's getting pregnant.
breeders.
yeah.
Okay.
like breeders.
But we don't know if they're ethical breeders either. And if they're breeders, why are they having such money troubles? That's good business. Dogs are like $2,500.
Yeah.
They're dog
You're
breeders.
right, AblaVi. I agree.
So the money doesn't make sense. They shouldn't have to work. If you're a dog breeder, you like a bad breeder is bringing in $10,000 or so a month. That's a bad breeder.
I mean, technically, I have a friend in Los Angeles who was a bartender in West Hollywood, and when COVID hit, he joined his family in breeding French bulldogs, selling French bulldogs. And he's making $8,000 plus a month now.
Exactly.
Wow.
So where's all the money again if they're dog breeders? And why is she on the farm with the cows and stuff if they're breeders?
Yeah. It's made for show. I think they have something. This is how it's supposed to be. That's the storyline. And that's the setting. That's it. It's obvious now.
Someone also said they might sell those naked cats, but I don't know. And if anybody knows about the Sphinx cats, I do. And they go from anywhere from $1,000 to $3,000-$4,000 a pop.
Wow. There you go. That's a business they can promote. They already have the business then. See?
But I'm saying if they're making money like that, even their living quarters should look better than that.
Sarah Arrington said they got a lot of flack for keeping the dogs in cages.
Okay, so they're unethical. That's what it is.
There you go. They're unethical. And they're selling, and they're saying that they sell. I'm sure a lot of people reached out to them saying, I want to buy a puppy, just because they saw them on the show. Mm-hmm. So there you go. They have their business already. It's the farm is just a facade. Real thing is the breeding business.
All right. Well, not paid by Monique and AblaVi. Before we end up jumping off of here, can you at least tell me, I like to keep it positive, can you at least tell me what you're looking forward to most the rest of the season? Just one couple and what you're looking forward to the most.
Go ahead. I'm looking forward to seeing who gets married. And I'm really looking forward to seeing Yara and Jovi, just to see what happened when she got pregnant and what, like, I can't see them getting married. So, like, how did that come into play? What does the mother think? I'm hoping Julia found her way off that farm. Hoping.
Okay. And not paid by Monique?
I'm hoping for two things. First is that Julia finds her way out of that farm. And second, I'm really looking for the way you break down the episodes, because the couples are not promising at all in production. I'm sorry. This is how I'm trying to be positive. I'm looking forward for your next breakdown of the episodes, Adam. They're really doing a bad job.
Hey, listen, I appreciate you. And guys, as always, thank you for jumping on and joining me in the conversation. It was a blast. I appreciate you.
Yeah, soon it's going to be 50K and then 100.
Wow. Yes. I'll keep you around.
Aim for the stars and you'll reach them.
Hey, always.
Are you at 30 yet?
Huh?
Are you at 30?
Yeah, I just did 30, I think 2 days ago.
Oh, yes. Congrats.
Thank you. Yep. And now next on to 50, and today's Pop's birthday. So,
oh my God.
Pops, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Pops.
I will. And thank you guys so much for joining me. And I will see you guys tomorrow.
And hugs
or tonight. If you guys are around, I'm going to be on with All About the Tea at 8 o'clock. Monica, and she's going to be giving an exclusive that I don't even know about.
Tonight?
And then I'm going to be on.
Okay.
Yeah. And then 9 o'clock, I'll be on with Dr. Kirk Honda doing a roundtable for 90 Day Fiance. So I'll be around tonight.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
All right. And I do want to go ahead and point this out. Annie J said they claim they have dogs in cages for safety of the crew. They had to defend themselves for the criticism. Another person said it was so sad to see the mother dog with the puppies in the cage on top of another cage. Yeah. And then one other person said, I hate dog breeders. Too many dogs in shelters waiting to be adopted. That is true, guys. I encourage you. My dogs were adopted. I encourage you, instead of going and spending $2,500 to $3,000 a dog, go adopt a dog. There are plenty of dogs in shelters that need homes. So, guys, if you haven't already, go ahead, hit that like button. Wish Pops a special happy birthday because we love that guy so much. I'm sure we're going to see him sometime this week so we can raise some money for our vets. And like I said, I will be on tonight, 8:15 with Monica from All About the Tea. She's dropping some exclusive housewife news. I believe it's housewife. I don't know. She won't give me any information. So I can't wait to find out about it myself. And then at 9 o'clock, I'll be jumping on with Dr. Kirkonda to be doing a roundtable of this 90 Day Fiancé ridiculousness. Bye, guys. See you next time.